Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Never in a Million. I'm a gift designer, and on tonight's episode I will be showing you my haul from penny shopping on November the 4th 2025. Okay, so in this video I will go over every single item that I purchased at a penny. I will also discuss my methods for penny shopping. I am a gift designer. I've been selling gift baskets on the side of the road since 2009, and I have perfected the way that I shop currently. So I do a lot of penny shopping, but there's a method to my madness. And so I will be discussing in this video how I personally shop. My channel is always from my point of view. It is not meant to brag, boast, or to point fingers on how others are shopping in the basket community, or for their gift basket business. Okay, everybody has to follow their own guide, and we'll figure out their guide. Like I mentioned, I've been doing this since 2009, and this is the way that I have figured out buying my inventory that works best for me. This is a side hustle for me, so I donate a very small amount of resources to this business, and I shop this way. Okay, so it's not to point blame. I don't want anyone to feel offended by this. I have been asked to go over my methods, and I'm going to share them. Shout out to Bagged and Bowed. Sometimes she says I overshare and be giving all these good tips away, and it makes it harder for others. But I don't mind, because what's for me is for me. And that has been my kind of mode of operation for the last, I would say, about 5 years. Okay. So I'm going over the items, and I will kind of tell you how I penny shop. So I look at stores before I feel like things are going to penny, and it's usually when I see things starting at 90%. Okay, and so I kind of take inventory of different stores for different items. When I penny shop, I am looking for substantial items. Okay, so this haul is not as vast as you may see others' hauls. Okay, there's not a lot of items. Mainly, they mostly all fit on this one small 6-foot table. I just go for the items that will bring me the most value. And I start by, on that 90% off day, traveling to many stores. Okay, I started at 8 o'clock that morning that it pennied on the 4th. But before that, when it was 90% off, I would check back the stores frequently. Okay, and my mode was I took off of work in a fashion that, normal people do. They call out. But I had called out also doing brown dot sales, and how I also called out another time too. So I work at a college as a professor, and so how that works is there is governed rules by the Board of Regents that says in the state of Georgia that you have to have a certain amount of class time. So I'm telling you this backstory because I did end up starting penny shopping, taking a break in between penny shopping, teaching a class or lecturing students, I should say, and then go back out penny shopping. Okay. So the method again is for me to view stores, and I started from the stores that were closest to my home and branched out towards work, hitting the stores. These are the same stores that I scoped out, and I'm looking for substantial things that I can use for my business. And when I go into that store, I am only hitting those things that I know that store specifically has, and I'm not wasting time finding little small items or things that I don't really technically need, okay, or will not bring the dollar. I'm waving my finger because there was a few items, these in general, that did not penny, but one of the stores just gave them to me as a penny. Okay, so they overrode it because they knew that these were excluded, so those over there are excluded, but they kind of just threw it in for me gratis, okay, for free, or a penny. Okay, and this one includes the last little thing, so these did not penny out, even though they have a green dot on them. Okay, so back to the situation. I will go in the store and start with the main item that I want to go to that store for, get that item and leave. I am not searching each store for every single penny item that they have. This is very contrary to how people are taught to penny shop. People are taught to, and they say that it's like a rule, to get everything that is a penny and leave no penny behind. That is not how I operate. I have operated like that previously, and it can really turn into a hoarding situation, and it will really not serve you in your business, okay? For those who are new to penny shopping, this is something that is supposed to be taken off of shelves. These items that penny out, they are being discontinued, usually for the season, sometimes forever, but typically for the season. And so it is the store's job to pull these items. This is not something that the store wants you to be partaking in, okay? This reflects negatively on the store itself. But Dollar General also has a policy: if a customer finds an item, puts it in their cart and brings it to the register, that it must be sold to them. And that is a policy that you can find online. You can carry a paper with you or not. And it is up really, truly, honestly, to the sole discretion of the cashier. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, and they'll deny you a penny. In my practice, if a store denies me a penny, I never shop at that store again. I live in Georgia. There are tons of Dollar Generals in Georgia. If a store denies me pennies, they will not get $1 from Never in a Million, okay? Because that means they're not practicing underneath their own rules. So I will take my business elsewhere. If that's the one that's across the street and I need a gallon of milk, I will go to a different one, okay? So that's how I find my pennies. I have shopped in Dollar Generals all across the Southeast: Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I don't think I've been penny shopping anywhere else. So this is done in every city, in every one of those states that I know of. There's also people on here that have done it in New York, in California, in Louisiana, all over the place, okay? So the My Store Doesn't Sell Pennies is the thing that you have to deal with in your own situation. If they're denying you pennies and they're not following your policy, it is up for you to leave that store or you to continue going to that store. That's totally up to you. I'm just, again, talking from my perspective. If they don't follow their own policy, they won't get a red cent for me, literally, okay? So that's that on that. I was showing you those shoes that I got. I was intentional again there. I have a lot of house shoes that are 5.6s. If I came across a house shoe that was 5.6, I did not purchase it, yes, even at a penny. I left that for other shoppers, for employees to pull if they wanted to pull. It's not my business, okay? So my business is to buy things for my company that I can use. I have so many 5.6 that I didn't want to add to my stockpile. I also kind of shop in hand with Bagged and Bowed. If she needs anything, I can share with her and she will share with me. Vice versa. She also did not need any more 5.6s, okay? In a totally different store, in a totally different part of Georgia, I noticed that there was a large set of pajamas that were still there. I left another store and went for the other store with pajamas. Again, I do my research prior to, scope out, and I am leaving behind other items. So in my first store, you'll see this later on, and I showed a short, when I found candles, I didn't look for every other thing. I knew that I could get a mass of candles there, got those candles and moved on to the next store. It is something I do, and I'm just mentioned this in my post, is get in and get out, okay? I have all the rest of this week and the weekend to find stragglers. Like, I don't have time when I know that in this store, there possibly could be, some flowers, but in another store, there's a whole set of pajamas, okay? Pajamas will bring in a top dollar. Shout out to Miss Joy from Baskets and More. Watching her really changed the game for me with pajama sets. She runs pajamas in a Bath and Body Works for like $79.99. Mine quite isn't at that price point because of where I sell and how I price, but I started following her example. I used to not do things that had sizes because I felt like sizes got in the way. Followed her example. In each one of these were a penny, and I could put with, a $2, $1.60, or at max $3 piece of Bath and Body Works, and bring in $50. Okay. So that is why I will leave behind the yellow dye, the penny flowers, in order to get to my next store, so I know I can get these pajamas, because they bring in the price for me and my business. Okay. Another thing that is a key item for me is purses, book bags, wallets. Those are high ticket, very impactful items. I noticed a store that has a few, and I'll tell you, this store had way more. By the time I got to this store, this was a minimal amount that I could get. Okay. So I got 4 book bags out of this one store, and that's what the Lord had for me. I want to also mention, while I'm going through these book bags, Latrika, she has a channel. While I was out penny shopping, I didn't see her live, but she does a praise break at noon. When she was doing, I didn't see her live, but I caught the replay. And when she was doing her praise break at noon on November the 4th, she shared a devotional. And the devotional was kind of analogy with shopping and the return policy. And I'll put the scripture up here. But it was basically a little scripture or a little devotional that was talking about redemption. Okay. And things like that. And that really struck home to me. One, because I was out shopping, right? But how God will show you mercy and forgiveness if you come to Him and can change and, really transform you as a person and even your business. Okay. And I felt like that is something that happened with me with shopping. I was always chasing sales and putting more money into my gifts. And I wasn't reaping the most profit until I finally said, I will trust that the Lord will provide in the price range that I have. And even if that means a smaller stockpile or a smaller haul, it has served me well. It has served me so well, moving in the ways that I move now currently for my business. Okay. So it is not about hiding items or fighting employees or other penny shoppers for the items. It is about having a peaceful, nice traveling experience and, being able to watch a video while you're traveling, with leaving the store with just 4 book bags. Okay. Because at the end of the day, all of this combined will transform my business. Putting in these items for pennies and cents and be able to give a valuable gift to a customer will definitely transform how you are bringing in dollars and cents, and also them having quality items in their gifts, and that creates return customers. It's way cheaper to me than Dollar General. I mean, the proof is in the pudding here. Okay. Dollar Tree, sorry. The proof is in the pudding. They get a quality item and they get, at a nice price, and I get amazing profits. Okay. So that's my take on that. I always like to those were my wallets. I always try to shoot for about 40 wallets during penny. I was a little bit shy of that, but I did get some at, when I was couponing, when it was 85% or the clearance events. So I'm confident that with the ones that I have, in my, stockpile already from those other times when I was shopping, plus these penny ones, it will average out. And then lastly, I have here my candles. Okay. I'm showing you that hanger for that missing towel that I had up front, the beach towels. So candles were the first thing that I went after because my candle shelf is a little bit low. Now, I usually don't like all of the same scents, but I knew that since Bagged & Bowed was shopping, we could kind of trade out. Okay, so if she needed some candles and she had some candles, I could take these candles and, she can take some of mine and I can take some of hers. So that works out great. I had blackened this out because I'm about to do a concept with all of those, but I wanted to make sure that I showed those. But the very next video will have a concept with those. the donut ones, okay? But they were all $5 is what I'm telling you, okay? Well, they were a penny to me, but they were originally $5. So yes, those were my candles, and I got those from a short. Now, on that short, I shared with you guys that I was taking the gamble and the risk, okay? That kind of weighed heavy on me because everybody in the comments was like, get them now. They can be gone. I'd get them now. And I was like, watch they be gone for the first time ever. And I'll be talking to them like, oh, y'all can wait. And then it fails on me, but it didn't, because not just for me. And I want to preface this, okay? I got this for a penny, obviously. Now, I had 3 coolers, but while I was driving, I dropped 2 of them off at the storage because they were just getting on my nerves, rattling in the back of the car, okay? So I do have 3 of these, and you'll see them later on, I'm sure. But what was I going to say? Okay, so when I say, what's for me, the Lord has for me, and the Lord has my name on it, I truly believe that. But it just doesn't apply to me. Okay, it applies to every single person, and not until I committed to not shopping frivolously. Okay, and I'm not saying that any of you guys are. I'm not saying that anyone is. Everyone doing what the best they can. Okay, because I thought I was doing the best I can, but until I started committing to not shopping frivolously, and actually waiting and being strategic, when I started to decide that, everything changed for me. Okay. Everything changed for me. Things were literally falling in my lap. I was doing the remodel game, and we were cleaning house, and it changes. It changes. There's a reason and a season for everything. The remodels change, but I still have to have that same approach. And I am so thankful that me having the same approach has benefited me. Okay. This cup was broken. An employee was like, oh, there's some more stuff over here. You should come look over here. And then handed me this, and I just scanned it. Okay. I was thinking that I had another one that was similar, and I might could use the straw. But the straw is green, and I don't think that one had a green straw, but it's broken, but I did pay a penny for this. But like what I'm trying to say here is this process works for me. And it's not just a me process. It's not that I have favor. It's not that it can't work for you. It's just, I feel like committing to something and understanding something will always serve you. Okay. And so that's that on that, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So I did see one pool toy. I did not stop and look at toys or summer toys. I've already mentioned that before. I'm not good at Easter. That doesn't really serve me. And I don't want to store the stuff for so long. I know that's hard to believe. Okay. This was the last store that I went to. Okay. And so in the last store I went to, I was looking for some wallets. They had wallets there. But it was like 8:00 at night. And by that time they were basically all gone. So I found that one, and I saw some of this yellow dot stuff sitting over there where the wallets are. And so I did partake in these, but this is a case in point. It will slow you down. The yellow dot and the small trinkets will slow you down. So you might not be able to get to your next store, because it took me a while just to hunt these down while I was listening to Rachel on her live. Because they're all like mixed in, or they all have blue dots in there, or they're a yellow dot container, but it has a full blue dot. And so when I say this, yes, I will circle back and get these extra things if I feel like it. But in my opinion, be careful when you're hunting each individual flower or these small little things. Look at these. These are what Still Classy had. Because it can slow you down, and you might not be able to get to your next store to get the big valuable items like those towels, okay? Or the large bags or the blankets that we know can bring higher dollar amounts than these items, okay? So sometimes, and I love the normal penny shoppers, okay? Some people hate to see them coming. But I love that they're spending time waiting and hunting each individual, little yellow dot, and that sometimes I'll throw them off, the scent, and I'll say, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of, green dot hand towels over here, or oven mittens, because I don't want all those oven mittens. Oh, wall art, I got kind of slapped on my wrist because I was saying I don't use wall art, which I don't. But when wall art goes, I like to say, look at all this wall art. And then they flock over there. While they're flocking over there, I'm running, getting the things I need. And I'm out the store to the next store trying to get whatever else I knew that next store had. I love to see a penny shopper who wants to clean the whole store out come. That's my favorite thing to see, okay? And I'll direct them to wherever the pennies are. But I'm showing you here, like, this one substantial thing can, help bring in the most dollar amount. So I went after those wallets, blankets. I think I'm going to kind of start showing you my key items. And I mentioned that throughout the video while I'm walking, Lord have mercy, while I'm talking. So that is just my take on penny shopping, how I like to do it. I hope you guys stayed along, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the largest item. If this is how I know I had to get out that store. I was listening to Rachel's live in my earbuds, and I said, I'm going to buy this this penny suitcase. Now, I don't need no penny suitcase, but this one is going to come in clutch, okay? So if y'all find this, please, please, please. It has a little tag, and it was face down, and I don't think anybody, 8 o'clock at night, I found this. Nobody knew this was green dot, or green clover, I should say. And I'm going to do a concept with this, and this is going to be one of my $275 concepts, okay? So my idea is to get a decal that says catching flights and feelings, and do this for Valentine's, okay? So I did pull out this big, huge stuffed animal. Now, this short didn't get a lot of views, but this stuffed animal is from Family Dollar, and it is still currently $5.97. If you find this, oh, I also forgot to put in my sleep pants that are 97 cents, okay? Maybe when I go back in, I'll add my sleep pants in here, okay? So this is going to get a stuffed animal, a set of Bath and Body Works in a makeup bag sitting in its lap, in a little travel bag, or Victoria's Secret probably. This suitcase that's going to say catching flights and feelings, and this cute little stuffed animal. And somebody's boyfriend or fiance or husband is going to take his girlfriend on a Valentine's Day trip, and this is how he's going to tell her that they're going, okay? So I can already see it in my mind, and that is the concept, okay? So I did show you that this is the tag that you're looking for at Family Dollars. I scanned it, and there's still $5.95 or 97 cents. And if you use your 5 off 25, you can get this for around $4 and something cents, or $5, okay? All right, I've come to the end of the video as usual. I just want to say, please go check out Latrinka's November 4th devotional. It spoke to me in a certain kind of way, and that's how devotionals usually are. It speaks to everyone in a separate, different kind of way. But it really spoke to me in my penny shopping game, okay? All right, I've extended the video. I hope you guys made it this far. Love you. Good night.